Are you serious? Hold on. You want to leave your job in the middle of a pandemic? People are losing their jobs left, right, and centre. People are trying to find jobs, and there's you. You want to quit your job right now? Well, yeah. The reason why I want to leave my job, is just I hate it. I can't stand it. But this is a pandemic. This is no other normal situation. You have to remember that if you lose this job, if you don't find another job, you know what that's going to mean. It means you're going to be jobless. Yeah, but I'm struggling in this job. I really am just struggling. I'm struggling in this job. I really can't do it anymore. It's doing my freaking head in. I have to leave right now. I'm really struggling in this job. That's fine. I completely understand what you're saying. But why don't you just look for jobs whilst you're working in this job? Surely that makes sense, right? So do you find yourself in a situation where you absolutely hate your job right now, but it's a pandemic? You know, things aren't normal, and you feel like if you lose this job, you're going to jeopardize your ability to be more employable because you've left your job during a pandemic. So in this video, we're going to be talking about, should you leave your job? Should you quit your job in a pandemic? So question is, are you ready? Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Sadek Rahman here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about this very sensitive question. This very sensitive but very important question, and that is, should you really leave your job during a pandemic? You see, the scenario is there's two ways of looking at this. Number one is, how much do you really hate your job? If you are hating your job, but you can still do your job competently, and it doesn't really affect you mentally or emotionally, then I would say just stick to your job. Try and find another job whilst you're working your job, or work on your side hustle. Do what you need to do. So that's one way of looking at it. That's one situation. That's number one. Number two is it affecting you mentally and emotionally? Are you struggling to do your job? Are you struggling to perform your job at a competent level? In this circumstances, then I would say leave your job. There's a reason why I say this, because I have had experience twice of me wanting to quit my job. So literally going back about 8 months ago, I was in a job, I was working for an eco-energy company, and I hated the job. Not only did I hate that, I was also struggling at the job. I struggled with their processes, I struggled with their systems, and it just got to a point where, right, I cannot take this anymore. But I was thinking to myself, what do I do? Do I leave? Do I not leave? Because, you know, at the end of the day, I've got a job right now, and I may not get a job later on. But then I realised that, hold on a second, I'm struggling in this job. What's the point of me being in this job if I'm struggling? So I left the job. I at first did think that I shouldn't do this, but then I realised, you know what, I'm going to listen to my heart and forget my head right now, because this is what I've got to do. This is so important for me and my own mental well-being. So I left that job, and it was the best call of action that I could have done right then. But then you could be in a situation, well, do I really want to leave my job right now? The question is that if it is affecting you emotionally, regardless of whether you're going to have a job lined up or not afterwards, is another question. You see, I was also in a situation before, about 2 years ago, where I was in a job that I thought was my ideal job, but then I realised a few months down the line that it actually wasn't for me at all. And so what happened is that my motivations went down for the job. You know, I was less motivated, I wasn't happy in that job, and so months and months went by, and because I was working in sales at the time, it meant that my performance was going down. Week after week, month after month, I was not getting leads. And so, of course, it made me look bad in front of my colleagues. My colleagues were saying, why are you not getting any leads? And people in my workplace actually noticed that I wasn't happy at all. I wasn't happy in my job, and people couldn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand what was going on here for me. But then eventually what happened was I was thinking to myself, you know what, I just got to stay in this job because I've got no other job to go to afterwards, and I've got a family to feed. What eventually happened was I got to a point where my performance was lacking. You know, I was not doing as well as I should be doing, and then I ended up getting released from the company, and it was the best thing that ever happened. But then what happened was, as a result of me losing my job, with all the negativities I was facing from the job that I was doing months after month, I was there for a year. So of course this had a negative impact in me. I was feeling more anxious, I was feeling more negative, I was less confident in myself, which then had an impact for me later on when it came to applying for jobs. And when it came to applying for jobs later on, I had to answer the question of why I left my job. And so it just made things a lot more harder for me. So I had to get therapy, I had to get help. And this took a long time for me to really heal up. So the question that you have to ask yourself is that you might be saying, well, I want to keep my job because of the pandemic. You know, I've got a family to feed. But is it going to cost you emotionally? Because the thing is you have to be emotionally tact. Because if you don't, then what will happen is when you try to apply for other jobs, when you try to do other jobs, you will be left with this scar or this trauma, if you like, from your previous job. So you may as well leave it whilst you can, whilst you're in this situation now, because the situation could exacerbate, it could get worse. It could get worse. So is it really worth it? Or you could do number 3 is that you hate your job, or you're struggling in your job, but you're able to deal with yourself emotionally, mentally. So even if you were to lose your job, it wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't bother your confidence, because you've worked on yourself so much during that period of you being in that job, through your meditation, through doing your therapy, whatever it is. So that's the third option. Each and every person has their own kind of situation, has their own take. And so for us to blast at them and say, you should keep your job because there's a pandemic, you should have a job lined up, is very inconsiderate. We don't know what's going on through that person's mind, through that person, and how they're dealing with that. And that's something that we all need to bear in mind before we, have a go with that person or judge that person because they decide to do the best thing for them. That's to leave the job. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video has benefited you. But I've got one thing to say to you. I'm nearly done with building my website, so I'm really excited about that, guys. And I'm also going to be doing my blogs. I've literally got about 8 blogs I've already written down, and I'm going to be in the process of typing them up. And I'm also going to be releasing my own ebook. I read this ebook about maybe 4 years ago, but the information in that book is still relevant for you, and I'm going to give it to you for free. That's right. So there's so many exciting things coming up, and so many ways that I hope that I can help you. So please do me a favor, please like this video, please share my video to anyone else that you know, please subscribe to my channel. I hope you've enjoyed this video. God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, bye.